in this episode how to solve linear inequalities involving fractions. Coming up, back into action. Hey guys, today I will show you how to solve linear inequalities involving fractions. So something like this. Suppose you have been given the first one. So x over 2 greater than 5. So the way you would think about this inequality is just x over 2 can be treated as a 1 over 2 times x. It's basically precisely the same thing. So like if it kind of confusing you, so just think of this 1 over 2x as a 1 over 2x. It's precisely the same thing. So the idea is we always want to isolate x. We want to get x alone. So since this 1 over 2 attaches your x, it's the coefficient basically in front, we want to get rid of this by doing the opposite operation, by applying opposite. So we want to untangle this 1 over 2x. And the way you would do, you would just simply multiply by 2, but both sides. Keep it in mind, because what we do to one side, we have to do to other side. Keep it balanced. We don't want to change anything in your inequality. So I would multiply both sides by 2. And what it does, it clears off this fraction. So idea is based on this kind of clearing of the fraction. So this 2 and 2, they cancel each other out, and we would be left with just x, and on the right side is just 10. So x greater than 10. This is your final solution, final solution set for this inequality. By the way, if you have questions and struggles with general inequalities or with quadratic inequalities, so anyway, if you need some help, you could check out my playlist on inequalities. I have different types, different videos, such as just normal linear inequalities, compound inequalities, quadratic inequalities. So if you need some help, just check it out. Moving on, how about this one? Again, you are given 3x over 2. So it's the same thing as a 3 over 2 times x. So you have this fraction in front of your x, 3 over 2. And you want to clear it off. You want to get rid of this fraction. So you would simply multiply by the reciprocal, basically, of 3 over 2. And the reciprocal is 2 over 3. So both sides get multiplied by 2 over 3. And over here, we're going to clear off. So x being alone on this side, and over here, so it's just you multiply two fractions straight across. You simply multiply the top straight across and the bottom straight across, but in this case you could do just cross cancelling, since 2 goes into 8 4 times and 3 goes into 9, 3 fits into 9 3 times. So you are left with x. So you keep the sign of your inequality, which is less than, and your number, so what's left over is just 3 on top, and you have 4 on bottom. So it's x less than 3/4. And if you are asked, or if your book asks you to give you geometrical interpretation for the inequality, for the solution set, you could check out my normal inequality, how to solve linear inequality, separate episode where I did geometrical interpretation also for that inequalities. Moving on. Alright, the last one. Let's handle this. So, the same idea. So you want to first of all collect your x terms on the left side, let's say, and your constants on the right side. So in this case, your terms kind of scattered around. You have x's on both sides, numbers also on both sides. Just collect them, put them together. So, and the way you would do, so we want to bring this 3x to the left side by adding 3x to both sides of your inequality. And we want to move this -7, this constant, to the right side by adding 7 to both sides. So in the next line, you bring down -x/3 plus 3x. You keep the sign, and 7 plus 1 gives you 8. Now it looks much better. And at this point, it's a high time to clear off the fraction. Since you have -x/3, so you have this -1/3, a coefficient in front of your x. So we want to get rid of this. We want to clear it off. And simply, all we need to do is just undo this. So we need to multiply by 3 both sides of your inequality. So it allows us to just eliminate this fraction, this pesky fraction. So we multiply by 3 both sides. Also keep in mind that since you have two terms added on the left side, so 3 gets multiplied by this term, and 3 gets multiplied also by that term, namely 3x. So do not lose this multiplying because it affects the solution. So let's implement this step. So 3 and 3 cancel each other out, and you would be left with just -x. Next one, plus 3x times 3 gives you 9x. You keep the sign as is, it's less than or equal to. And on the right side of your inequality, you would simply get 24, since 8 times 3 gives you 24. Much better, it's getting better. Now, -x plus 9x, they're like terms, and we could simply add them. So it's the same thing as 9x minus x. And you are left with 8x. Keep whatever you have. And finally, the last step. We want to isolate x. So whatever attach your x, divide through. So in this case, you divide by 8 through both sides of your inequality. And we clear off here, 8 disappears, drops out, goes away, and you would be left with x less than or equal, and since 8 fits into 24 3 times, x less than or equal to 3, it's gonna be your final answer. It's all x's less than or equal to 3. It's infinitely many. It's a solution set for your inequality. Well, I hope it was helpful. Thanks for watching and train your brain. I had the second episode on this inequalities involving fractions, and if you're up to, you could check it out. Well, I know everyone hates maths, but if you like my video, please hit like, share with your friends, leave the comment down below, and be sure to subscribe so you will not miss out my new videos.